Don't get me wrong, there are some panels of Gunwoo that flood my basement.
I am here to make you mine.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be discussing The Dangerous Convenience Store by Gusao. Before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled on this manhwa, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. For those of you who decide to stick around, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to gang activity, blood, violence, cheating, homomesia, death, car accidents, overwork, coma, excessive drinking, mentions of human trafficking, theft, assault, manipulation, corruption, strained familial relationships, extortion, torture, self-deprecation, breakups, age gap, power imbalance, and BDSM, as these things do appear in the manhwa. But if that's okay with you, let's go ahead and get started. Jun works at a convenience store. This should be a relatively safe job, but this convenience store happens to be in the middle of a gang-riddled neighborhood. The mafia and their members run the streets, and they frequently come in to throw their weight around, steal, and just generally torment Jun. It's scary, but it means a higher paying job, and Jun really needs the money. So he works his night shift, saving up money to continue attending his college classes and paying for his brother's medical bills. It's another night with some scary clientele, but just when a gang member starts tormenting Jun, another gangster comes in and puts him in his place. Jun, though scared of the man, can sense he's different. Sure, he's a gang member, but not all gang members are evil, right? Night after night, this older man comes in and helps keep Jun safer during his shift, and Jun steadily grows more and more attracted to him. But no matter how much Jun wants to get to know him, their interactions are limited to the gangster asking for cigarettes and paying for everything else. That is until Jun discovers the Ahjussi, Gunwoo, is his next door neighbor. To start with, the art in this is a bit all over the place. It has very sweet, smutty, cute, and beautiful panels, but it also has some really rough looking moments. If you can't stand some good old yaoi hands and inconsistent anatomy, you might be bothered by this. While it isn't the cleanest style I've ever seen, it didn't bother me all that much. Admittedly, the super cute chibis and the light comedy carry the art in this one. Don't get me wrong, there are some panels of Gunwoo that flood my basement, but there are some bad looking panels too. Perfection, this is not, but it's certainly not the worst. While the art may not be perfect, this does shine in the characterization and story. Jun is a precious being. I love how innocent and gullible he is, paired with his no-nonsense and resolute personality. Similarly, Gunwoo, though rough around the edges, turned out to be a very vulnerable but dedicated person who has had to overcome so much in the face of betrayal. Multifaceted characters are rarer than you might think. Usually if they're a silly sunshine, they're just a silly sunshine. If they're a tsundere gangster, they're just a tsundere gangster. That's not the case here. Jun is so cute and playful. He comes off like an airhead, but when it comes to his self-preservation, he ends up being very unwavering. Seeing him put down his crush with the cold efficiency of an assassin is everything. However, when Gunwoo ends up disappearing, seeing this person with a strong sense of self and self-preservation suddenly make concessions after being treated poorly by a partner is equally heartbreaking as it is powerful character development. A lot of times in other stories, when one part of the couple does something shitty and then comes back to apologize, everything ends up working out and all is forgotten. That doesn't happen here. After Gunwoo disappears, it's clear that Jun is traumatized. He's willing to stay with a partner who ignores him for weeks, who refuses to give him the attention and affection he deserves, and who even cheats on him, both because he feels he might deserve that kind of love after Gunwoo leaves, but also because he feels he may never find someone else anyway. It's a powerful realization that Gunwoo immediately recognizes as something he has caused. But this also reestablishes how dedicated Gunwoo is as a partner. From the beginning, Jun questions Gunwoo's feelings and considers them to be fleeting even when he's willing to confess his feelings to him. So when Gunwoo disappears, while Jun does wait for him and expects him to return, he ultimately feels vindicated when he doesn't. He never trusted Gunwoo, saying that he would wait for Jun to choose him, no matter how long it took, and after years, he returns and restates that same promise. For someone whose life was permanently altered by a man who treated him like a son, who witnessed Jun being kissed by someone else, and ultimately experiencing betrayal time and time again, he puts all of his faith and trust into Jun. Just like Jun, Gunwoo is equally unwavering, and that steadfast dedication is what brings them back together. It's a beautiful evolution. Bonus points, I love a top who moans as much as the bottom. What a note to end on. With all that being said, this is a very popular title, and I've looked forward to reviewing it for a long time. Part of me was worried that it was overhyped, and then I'd have to be the person to say I didn't like it, but I'm happy to say it deserves all the praise it receives. It's a smutty emotional roller coaster, and I really enjoyed the ride. It has just as much light comedy as it does drama, so you'll be feeling all the things throughout the story. It is worth every coin I spent, and it's worth buying in print, which I also did. So, have you read The Dangerous Convenience Store? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know in a comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!
in the chaos of our passion.